place up here.
Marvel Studios president says the new X-Men movie in the upcoming mutant saga will feature a mix of familiar faces and new characters. But who should the MCU's X-Men learn from? X-Men the animated series or the Fox X-Men movies? And what can we expect from the film itself? Stick around because we're diving into everything we know about the upcoming MCU X-Men movie after the multiverse saga. First, let's highlight how the MCU's X-Men movie could benefit from taking lessons from X-Men the animated series. This show was a standout in adapting comic books, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe would do well to take a page from its playbook. X-Men the animated series is still one of the most beloved Marvel adaptations, praised for its faithful storytelling, rich characters, and deep dive into mutant politics. The show had some fantastic episodes that tackled complex characters and storylines pulled straight from Marvel Comics. The MCU is known for blending character development with epic action, so drawing inspiration from X-Men TAS could help create an X-Men franchise that really shines in the superhero genre. With Disney's acquisition of Fox, bringing the X-Men characters back to Marvel, the possibility of a great MCU X-Men movie is more exciting than ever. One thing everyone hopes for is that the MCU's X-Men movie doesn't kill off the villains too quickly. In X-Men the animated series, the show rarely killed off its villains, largely due to censorship back then. But this actually turned out to be a strength, as it allowed villains to return in multiple episodes and develop over time, creating richer, more complex interactions with the X-Men. Characters like Apocalypse, the Sentinels, and Mr. Sinister had their motivations and philosophies explored in depth. In contrast, many of the X-Men films tended to dispatch villains quickly, missing out on the chance for ongoing, engaging narratives. Magneto was a notable exception, showing how a well-developed villain can evolve over several movies. The MCU's X-Men should avoid this mistake and let major villains stick around for multiple appearances. This would provide more nuanced character arcs and a deeper exploration of the ideological conflicts that define the X-Men universe. Another key lesson is to avoid deviating too far from the source material. X-Men the animated series was praised for its fidelity to the comics. The show brought iconic storylines like the Dark Phoenix saga and Days of Future Past to life with respect for the original arcs, even if it had to tweak them for television. In contrast, the X-Men movies often took significant creative liberties, which led to mixed reactions from fans. While some adjustments are necessary for adaptation, many of the X-Men films made substantial changes to key characters and storylines, alienating some of the fan base. The MCU's X-Men should take a page from the animated series and stick closer to the original comics. This means staying true to the core elements of the characters and their stories while making thoughtful updates for modern audiences. X-Men TAS did this well by keeping the central characters and major plot lines intact, making it a beloved adaptation. And while we're on the topic, let's not forget that Wolverine isn't the only star. X-Men the animated series did a fantastic job of exploring a wide range of characters. In the movies, Wolverine quickly became the face of the X-Men, often overshadowing other important characters. Hugh Jackman's portrayal was iconic, but Wolverine's overexposure led to other characters being sidelined or underdeveloped. This issue was especially noticeable when Wolverine took over storylines originally meant for characters like Kitty Pryde in Days of Future Past. In contrast, X-Men TAS managed to shine a spotlight on all the central characters. The show dedicated episodes to individual X-Men, allowing for deeper exploration of their backstories, personalities, and struggles. The MCU should take a cue from this ensemble approach and ensure that each team member gets their moment in the sun, rather than focusing solely on Wolverine. This approach could also make it easier to recast Wolverine if the character is introduced later or as part of a larger ensemble. Having said that, let's dive into the latest updates on movie development. According to Deadline, with the WGA strikes behind us, the search for writers for the MCU's X-Men movie is underway. Pitch meetings are scheduled for fall 2023. It's clear that work is progressing behind the scenes. The X-Men were teased in the Marvels, so solid news about their debut film might be on the horizon. The MCU's X-Men movie might still be a ways off, but recent updates are starting to reveal more about what we can expect. We've learned that Michael Leslie, the writer behind The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, has been tapped to work on the script for the upcoming X-Men reboot. Marvel Studios is also on the lookout for a director to bring this project to life. Kevin Feige has hinted at what we might see in the film, stating that the X-Men team will feature a mix of characters seen before and characters never seen before. This suggests we could see a blend of familiar faces alongside some new additions. With a few well-chosen actors, the MCU could strike a great balance between popular and lesser-known X-Men characters, adding a fresh twist to the beloved franchise. There's buzz that Kiernan Shipka might join the MCU's X-Men movie. Shipka, known for her charismatic lead role in Netflix's chilling adventures of Sabrina, could bring a similar charm to the X-Men universe. Rumors suggest she might play Boom Boom, a lesser-known Marvel character with a quirky and sarcastic personality that could fit well with the film's tone. Boom Boom isn't a major name in Marvel Comics, but her power to create and throw explosive bombs of varying sizes and intensities could add some exciting action to the movie. Plus, her teaming up with Armor in the Krakoan era of X-Men comics could be great dynamic to explore. If Shipka joins the cast, it could be a fun addition to the mix of characters Marvel Studios is planning for this reboot. Despite multiple MCU Easter eggs hinting at the X-Men, Kevin Feige has kept details about their introduction under wraps. It's confirmed that the X-Men will join the MCU, but the timing remains unclear. Professor X and Beast have already appeared in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and the Marvels, respectively, but it's uncertain how these cameos will tie into the X-Men's solo film. No release date has been announced for Marvel's X-Men movie yet. It's still uncertain whether it will arrive during MCU Phase 6 or be pushed to Phase 7 after Avengers Secret Wars. Marvel Studios has reserved some release dates in Phase 6 without announced projects, which could potentially be filled by the X-Men movie. However, given the early stage of development, it's unlikely that the film will make it in time for Phase 6's conclusion in 2026. No specific story details have been released for the X-Men film, but one major challenge for the MCU will be explaining where the X-Men have been until now. Since the X-Men include both younger and older heroes, it's improbable that they'll be newly formed in the MCU's Earth 616. Instead, the multiverse saga provides a plausible scenario where the X-Men could come from another reality where they're already established. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness set the stage for superhero teams from other realities, featuring the Illuminati, which included Professor X. A likely starting point for the X-Men's MCU story could involve Monica Rambeau, who found herself in another reality alongside Beast and a variant of her mother, with Professor X potentially playing a key role. Furthermore, recent cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine have fueled speculation about the next MCU X-Men team, with actors like Channing Tatum rumored to reprise Gambit, Jennifer Garner potentially returning as Elektra, and Henry Cavill rumored to be cast as Wolverine. The lineup could feature a fascinating mix of familiar faces and fresh talent. Daphne Keane, who played Laura X-23, is also rumored to be involved, adding another layer to the anticipated roster. These hints suggest that the upcoming MCU X-Men movie might blend old favorites with new characters, creating a dynamic and diverse team. Fans are eager to see how these characters and actors will fit into the MCU's evolving landscape and what new directions the franchise will take. And that's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one. Drop your suggestions for future videos in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you want to see next. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any updates. Feel free to share your thoughts about this video in the comments too.